They say cash is king, but I think paper is the real king. Widespread paper use became obsolete when computers came out because computers are basically just a bunch of paper and documents compiled into one machine. Paper is almost completely gone from our lives, but only if you let it be. I still use paper, and I think you should too. Paper notebooks, paper books, paper dictionaries, paper journal, linen paper for letters and scripts, paper envelopes, obviously, paper sticky notes, paper business cards, paper stickers, paper planner, paper calendar. I just said paper 13 times. Okay, this is an easy one. When you write on paper, it solidifies what you're writing in your brain better than anything else. And I printed out a study about this on paper. Now, this is a 52-page study by the National Institute of Health, but I'm only going to read one paragraph. I'll link the whole study in the description if you want to read it. The comparison between handwriting and typing reveals important differences in the neural and cognitive impacts. Handwriting activates a broader network of brain regions involved in motor, sensory, and cognitive processing, contributing to deeper learning, enhanced memory retention, and more effective engagement with written material. Typing, while more efficient and automated, engages fewer neural circuits, resulting in more passive cognitive engagement. These findings suggest that despite the advantages of typing in terms of speed and convenience, handwriting remains an important tool for learning and memory retention, particularly in educational contexts. In high school, when we were given a writing assignment, we were expected to type it out with our computers. Every time we were given one of these short answer or essay assignments, I would go up to my teacher and ask for paper so I could write it out instead. The majority of the time, I was the only kid asking. Now, 90% of the time, the teachers would say yes, but that 10% killed me. I hated typing on the computer. I couldn't focus, I felt like I wasn't writing well, and I think it was because the computer doesn't aid you in being creative. In fact, it does the opposite. When you write with a computer, you are full of distractions and you know it. When you type on a computer, you're just seeing digital images that look like words and sentences. Now, all the things I just mentioned are the opposite when writing on paper. This applies to both a typewriter and just pen and paper. When it's just you and the paper, all you can do is write your thoughts. There are zero distractions. The words that were once in your head and are now on paper is directly because of you and the movement of your hands. They are unique to you and your being. This really ties to the memory aspect of paper and the study I showed earlier. There's just something about writing on paper what you need to get done for the day that just sticks with you better. It's harder to forget when you write it down. Yes, the alternative are digital reminders on your phone or computer, but it's just another distraction that puts you back on a dopamine scavenger hunt. When you have a paper planner or just a notebook, all you can do is plan and write. That's it. I feel like in our world now of AI writing for us and spell check as a necessity, we're losing the ability to write without a digital interference. Being able to write independently is a basic human right, to take what's in here and put it on here with no filters in between. This is paper's gift to us, and it has been forever. Before the cheap wood pulp paper we use today, it was linen paper, then hemp paper, then goatskin paper, and then it was just the stones on the side of caves. We've always wrote what we were thinking, free from filters. This is why it's a basic human right. And now we live in a time where the most popular way of writing is with a phone or a computer, the most dependent, filter-full way of writing. We are living in the only point in history where it's grossly tempting to change the words in your head by a digital medium. If you think about it, it's quite disturbing and inhumane. If you want to just start writing on paper in general, get yourself a journal and a good pen. Spend a little extra money on the pen. It makes writing with it a little bit more enjoyable. I recommend the Pentel Energel 0.7mm pens. If you suck at spelling, which is okay, get yourself a pencil. You can get cheap pencils, but don't get a cheap eraser. Get the Papermate Arrowhead erasers. They're the best, nothing beats them. If you suck at spelling, get yourself a Webster Pocket Dictionary. Do not Google the definitions of words. When you have a physical paper dictionary, it's a pain in the ass to look up words, but that's the point. You're trying to be independent from the dictionary, not the other way around. And when you have a paper copy, it's very motivating to do so. If you already write a lot before watching this video, get yourself a manual typewriter. They're expensive, but they last forever and make you a better writer. Get the ones that are around $300. Usually everything works on them and they're in great condition. I use linen paper because it's a lot nicer and pleasant to use. And if you're worried about trees being cut down, linen paper is mostly made out of cotton. That makes it a hell of a lot more expensive though. My favorite form of writing are letters. I highly encourage starting off with that. I made a whole video about letters and why they need to make a comeback. But if you don't want to write letters, write in your new journal about your day, about the movie you just watched, about what you're going to plan for the next year, whatever, and write it on paper. If you're interested in seeing behind the scenes content, Q&As, exclusive videos, and the hand-signed thank you letter sent to you, consider joining the Patreon. It's $5 a month and helps support me and the channel. Thank you to my current Patreon.